Malaga, first of all, welcome to our city. Capital of La Costa del Sol, the coast of the sun or the sunny coast. In Malaga, we have 3,000 hours of sunlight per year, 330 days of sun, and about 20 to 30 days of rain. But actually, it's even less because of the droughts we are suffering now. The whole world is not raining too much. In the south of Spain, weather is reaching higher temperatures and it's not raining not that much. 21 degrees Celsius the average. Last summer we reached 43.3, but some days ago in the province of Malaga, not the capital but the province, we reached 44.1. Really hot. We are now in the port of Malaga that was created in the 19th century. Fishing for Malaga then was very important. From here we can see two fortresses that belongs to the Moors when they conquered Spain, and as well the cathedral that is over there. Cathedral was built between the 16th and the 18th century and is a mix between Renaissance and Baroque styles. As you can see, there's another one of the towers that couldn't be finished. Our cathedral is a non-finished cathedral, okay? The name is Church Cathedral Saint Basilica of the Incarnation. But in Malaga, it's popularly known as the one-armed cathedral, but the dear one having two arms, it just has only one. So with the crane, you can see over there, they're planning to finish the roof, because when it rains, the rain provokes some damages for the structure of the cathedral and as well for the paintings. So they're planning the roof that has to be over there. Finishing the southern tower is a controversial issue in Malaga. The council asked people of Malaga if we wanted to finish the southern tower, and the people said no, because the cathedral is known as the one-armed cathedral, so it's going to not going to be the one-armed cathedral anymore. We have to change the name. Here you find the two Arab fortresses that are Alcazaba, that was built in the 11th century, and on the top Gibralfaro, that was built in the 14th century. The Arabs conquered Spain in the 8th century after Christ. So then first was built the royal palace and the fortress that was Alcazaba, but later that is the place we are going to visit later on the top. And more than 40 museums, one of them is this one, you can find in Malaga, just in the capital. Reason why the city is called the City of Museums. And the person that was considered the best artist of the 20th century all over the world, Pablo Ruiz Picasso. As well, this avenue with the greenness is a botanical garden, was built at the same time as the port. Imagine then that the port, the sea was covering all this area and was touching the mountain that is over there where you can find the two fortresses. Behind the building over there, there's the Bullring, very typical building in Spain, and we are going to see later from the top of the mountain and at the end of the tour. Neighborhood on the beach, as well, the three of them are called Malagueta. If you visited before other cities in Spain, for example Barcelona, in Barcelona they have a beach that is called La Barceloneta. To the right of this building you find big letters which can be the name of the place. So to have a picture, a nice place to have some memories of the city. Here you find the Malagueta Beach, the Mediterranean Sea, and not that far where you can find is Africa. Sometimes even from Malaga we can see Africa. But very weird days. Going to the other side, crossing to west, you can see clear. Typical restaurants all along the coast of Spain. Only in Malaga you are going to find this kind of boat. There is actually a barbecue in which we cook the fish in a traditional way in Malaga, as fishermen used to do here at the beach. Later I'm going to explain you a little bit how we cook this fish. On the left, this is a very important building in Malaga. Miramar Hotel, Grand Hotel Miramar. National Geographic Travels awarded this the best urban hotel in Spain a month ago approximately. It was inaugurated by the royalty, the King Alfonso XIII, that is the great-grandfather of the king we have now, Felipe VI. right, then you can find that the exterior is a style that is called modernist. If you visit the interior, that is in Italy, it's like as you in Alcatraz, the building, the Arab buildings, we saw before. Malagueta Beach, and at the end of this beach, you find the following one that is called La Caleta, the small bay, or the little bay. These restaurants are called chiringuitos, and the names of these restaurants. Caleta, you find the name of the beach. And if you see the shore, the beach wasn't like this. Before, the shore was shorter. Malaga was a little bit different. And the beaches were full of rocks. Fishermen used to be here. They used to make a barbecue on the sand, and they used to cook their fish here at the beach. That is right, at the restaurants, you find that particular technique you find only in Malaga to cook the fish. Was suffering economical problems in the late 60s and the 70s, and to solve the situation, they wanted to create an economy based on tourism. The country was closed to the world. The borders were closed and the economy was moving only inside Spain. So they tried to open the borders and create a new system, a new economy based on tourism. Malaga was then the first touristic city in Spain, and in the 70s they implemented the sands. But even previously, this building on the left was the first touristic hotel in Malaga, 1920. Later we are going to see it. But first we are going to visit the east of the province. Of the capital, I mean. Apart from being the first touristic city in Spain, Malaga was the first. The opposite way you find west. All the first industries that were in Spain were at west. West is the biggest part of Malaga. Was and is very flat. The working class used to live there. Where all the industries in at west. At the city center, we have a variety of different neighborhoods. Upper class, middle class. The fishing area is the first one we are going to visit. And the rich part of the owners of those industries that are offshore. And then it's a class. We have they created this suddenly emerged that during the early 20th century, here came the high-class society of Spain, and from other countries, they came to visit Malaga and stay at this place. As you can read over here, it says El Balneario is a spa, and the L is like a column, because if you check, these columns you find over here belong to that period in which this place was a spa. A very, very exclusive place. That attached to this building, they have here one of the first tennis courts to play tennis in the south of Spain, as well in which they projected silent films, silent movies in a very big screen that was white. One of the first silent movies they projected here. Imagine that over here, these walls were higher, were only for rich people, and for privacy, they cover all this area. Normally in the past, masculine and feminine area, men and women places, were kind of divided. But this place, fishermen used to build their own houses, and they used the remaining spaces to build some other houses. There were no architects involved in building these kind of houses. They just said, this is my place, and I'm going to build my house here. Empty houses are old ones, in contrast with the new ones. Sometimes they restore the old ones, sometimes they demolish the old ones to build new ones. This is another old one. If you check down there, that kind of gray color, it's a kind of a concrete they put to prevent the humidity in this area. Because until here reach the sand and sometimes even the sea. This is another thing that is very typical in Andalusia. This kind of geometrical shaped tiles that are very, very Arab, and it's part of the Arab influence. We have, and you check that there's full of rocks over there. Those were the fishermen. We say in Spanish pescador, but in Malaga we have a special word, marengos. And marengos is because of the sea. Sea was mar. Those kind of boats, windows, that was the place in which we began the tour, okay? Later we're going to see the Bullring as well, from the top. And that building that now, later we are going to see that is covered by a blue kind of color, a blue mesh. If you check on the right, you're going to find a lot of trees. We're going to make the first stop in this area, and I can show you how we cook the fish. People of Malaga only. On the right side, you find this perspective of a fishing area. There are still families that used to have family members that used to be fishermen. Some restaurants. The area is called Pedregalejo. That comes from piedra in Spanish. Okay, so every single day when they went fishing, they used to put the boats on the sand. But on the sand was the place in which they cooked the fish. They made a barbecue. We're over here in this area. They cut the bamboo and chop the fish. They prepare the fish. They put on the sand the bamboo. The fishermen used to. They're still preparing the same. Okay, so if you check, every single restaurant has their own name. Las Palmeras al de Palm Tree is the name of this. Find this seven over here, but at the bottom there, you find that is the main restaurant. Okay. For example, very fresh fish you are going to find in this area. As well, those one over there are braised clams, and those one over there are so typical of Malaga. And a clams like this, okay, and are called concha fina, fine. In Andalusia, because of the heritage, of the Arab heritage, of these particular shape tiles, that they use as well to protect from the humidity. You can see, person, okay? A feminine name like Patricia. The lady that lives here, for example, and the lady with the small boats, okay? My grandpa and my uncles that were fishermen at the port. Instead of the small boats, they use bigger ships with. It's an icon in Malaga, okay? These ones are the ones that you can find here. Even this restaurant is the one that earned the best prize for the best sardines this month in Malaga. Going to the shore at the beach and doing like this, and you can put gather, okay? So in the city center in Spain, middle and south, it's so typical that you have the streets that the walls are so close one to the other, okay? Give a little bit of more fresh temperature. A little weight to the purpose of these, okay? this is a contest. Ruta del espeto. Espeto is the name of the bamboo. This is the bamboo. Okay? So espeto, the action is espetar, is to traverse the fish, okay? And the ruta is the route, okay? So in Malaga, they have different places that were participating to pescadito frito is fried fish. Not only this kind of roasted fish, as well fried fish is very typical. Brasa is kind of this, roasted, okay? So it are the two techniques. Espetos is the name of that kind of technique. As well, horizontally, they have to put it vertically. From the mouth to the tail, they traverse the fish. And the sardines are 4 minutes. This was the past. This is the present. Okay? But they're still using these ones. They used to sharp it, and they used to traverse the fish. And then they put this sharp part inside the sand. And in this distance, with the fire, but going the other way. Okay? Now, they use this one. Okay? They put the sardines horizontally, and they put over here, side. Check this. What you have here is just regular salt. Because this was a salting factory. They used to put fish with salt to dehydrate the fish and to preserve for long journeys when they were traveling, okay? So this was actually very important. Do you know the relation between salt that they used to pay you for your workforce? If you were a worker, they used to pay with this. Imagine, if this was kind of 10 euros, this was like maybe 50, okay? So they are in a conflict with the new situation of the laws. The government wanted to demolish the houses because new laws doesn't allow you to build so close to the shore, so close to the beach, and so tall, okay? So that is with 3 humps that we are going to see later some old photographies of this area where you can find that mountain, and the typical place that used to be Meslinde is to finish with that kind of limit that they don't, the government don't allow you to have the houses. So the people that used to live here more than 100 years ago. Imagine how poor were those people, were humble families. This was the tram we have, that later we are going to see the last carriage of the tram, and that's the mountain I mentioned before. All this was kind of a small village that has a lot of different levels, and you find here the typical food. On the top says berenjenas, aubergines, or eggplants. Boquerones are anchovies, and as well you find adobo. Have you ever tried shark? Salt, oregano, paprika, and garlic. And we used to put in wheat flour and later deep fry. This is cat shark. Every single Sunday I used to come, not to this beach, but the following one over there. So this is a place that I know, special shape. Nowadays, these particular boats are for this procession with the Virgin on the top, okay? So if you check, maybe we have a Javega here. No, they put the in the interior of this place, in this kind of tent, because they are safety here. It's a safety place. If you check on the right, can you see this house? That is a very narrow one. One of the narrowest houses you find in this area. They say that they thought they were so superstitious. Imagine that there was a civilization that came to Malaga 3,000 years ago, and they believe in different gods, and they were so superstitious. They thought that painting 2 eyes on the front of the boats, they could be protected from the dangers of the sea. If you check over here, that small temple is the Virgin, that is the patron saint of fishermen, Virgen del Carmen. And there's a lot of people that are really devoted to this Virgin in this fishing area. This is the beach. I came every Sunday when I was a child with my family. Because the water, as you can see, is so calm. It depends on the wind as well. But it's not that deep. You can walk for like 20 meters, and sometimes in these beaches, the water just reaches your knees or your hips. If you go to, for example, Malaga, was the old association of fishermen. You can read over there, asociación, there is association, and pescadores were fishermen. On the right you can see these houses that are a little bit different than the Casas Mata, bushy houses. You can see that this area is kind of more important, more expensive. This is a private institution. And you find the name, Flora. Sorry. In Spanish is plátano. So are called the oriental banana trees. But you can see that they don't have any bananas. We're going to see them later as well. In many places they were just so useful because they are called as well. In the front, these ones with the tiles and the bricks, you find them in some places of Malaga. And as well, jasmine, very typical. Apart from this, you can find that some houses have some European styles, but reflects a little bit avenues and squares. You find that some houses like this were so typical in colonial styles. The white part is like the Miramar Hotel, but you can check that the arcs, the bricks, and the tiles together was part of a style that was developed only in Spain. And later we are going to see a better example of that, a very beautiful villa. That style, with the horseshoe arcs, the geometrical shaped tiles and the bricks, was a style developed only in Spain in the medieval times, 12 to 16 time. This as well. That part over there, where you can find the big buildings, is something that, because of that law of coasts that I mentioned before, is something that is very impossible nowadays. That was from the 60s and the 70s, when they had the economy based on tourism. But now, the laws that don't allow you to build so tall. West, we cannot perceive it from here, but it's the biggest part of Malaga. And when we visit the top, we are going to see that it's very big. The majority of the people living now is still living there, at West. And you can see that Malaga is full of different plants that are very tropical kind of plants. In Malaga, we have a subtropical weather. And even because of this subtropical weather, at the east of the province, we have in Malaga the biggest plantation of avocados and mangoes all over Europe is here in our city. Of course, are not originally from Malaga. In this place. The first one is this one we are going to see here, that is called Hat Pharmacies in Malaga. Makes sense, taking into account that the old building that was here and this villa here were built at the same time. The style of this one, for example, the metallurgical industries, production of cotton, lead, steel or iron, cotton production and textile industries, production of tobacco, sugarcane, distilleries, chemicals. We have a lot to build second houses and enjoy a residential part in their holiday. Okay, this one belongs to a church that was called Herman, and you can find the name over there below Villa. Herman with double N is a German surname. And here is a imagine the best views of the Caleta Palace Hotel were looking to this river and the gardens they had over there. Malagueta and La Caleta Beach we saw at the beginning were not that beautiful. The beaches were rocky, short, and they were only poor people and the fishermen. Two. This villa on the right is called Villa Antonia. There's another feminine name. We saw And is this your first city you visit in Andalusia, in the south of Spain? In the south of Spain, it's so typical that you are going to find these kind of trees that are orange trees. And it's part of the Arab legacy we keep in Andalusia, the south of Spain. If you check, the oranges look like limes, but actually they are wrong. Okay? So these ones, in some months they are going to be this size and in orange color. Oranges, okay? But the oranges are not sweets, are bitter flavor. Instead of trying the oranges, that could be a very bad experience because of the flavor of the oranges. They could be very bitter and sour. You can take a leaf to discover if these ones are sweet ones or bitter ones. If you check that the leaf, when you pick it, had this small shape here, it says there is a orange blossom water, we call it. It's so typical in Spain, that kind of patterns. But part of the Arab culture we keep in Andalusia, in the south of Spain. Okay? Wow, something happened that is very dangerous actually here. And our previous king, Juan Carlos, both were cousins. And we are exporting this kind of oranges to United Kingdom because he loved orange marmalade plants. And as you can see, more mountains you find surrounding the capital of Malaga. Spain, olives are so important. Maybe you know that Spain produces olive oil, right? But did you know that Spain, ones are the Italians, third ones are the Greeks. 4 months ago, when it was raining in Malaga, over 1,400 meters over the sea level, we had snow. If you check over there, and even these ones over here are eucalyptus as well. You can check even over here on the left that there's no many plants that are growing. It's because the eucalyptus absorb the majority of the water and the nutrients. And if you check, are on the slopes in these tilted kind of mountains, because with the roots they contain all the ground, preventing the erosion. Yes. Okay. I have to hurry a little bit, so I'm going to show you briefly the fortress. Later we can make a stop at the lookouts. So there you can find some other photos. Come to visit the lookouts. So over there you can take nice photos. If we find that the lookout is empty, we are going to make the first stop here, preventing that some tourists can come. Yeah, it's empty. So first I'm going to make a stop here at the lookout, taking the advantage that is empty, okay? That's the Bullring. They are putting down the old stage that was over there, the previous stage. June and July, we were celebrating here some different concerts. And was built in the 11th century, and this one was built in the 14th century. So this fortress here was only military use. Soldiers were here to defend the city of Malaga from the upper part of the city. And Phoenicians before built an old lighthouse. In the same place they built this new one. There's a pathway that drives you to Alcazaba, directly to the city center, okay? On the top you find
like, comment, and subscribe for more travel adventures with Shutterbug.